Hey guys, today I'm going to give you 5 things that I learned from fixing my first light leak on the 4x5 camera. And these might be some things that you might want to think about or you might not think about when it comes to fixing maybe your first light leak or just a light leak in general. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you're a new viewer, subscribe. Okay guys, before I get into these tips, I want to show you something cool that I got. This is a 75mm Nikkor 4.5 lens. You can see I put some tape around the edges because the lens board was a little bit loose when I put it in. So this is going to be really awesome, and I'm going to test this out in my next video. I'm taking it to a waterfall location here in Texas, and I'm going to test it out. I'm going to compare it to this lens, and I really think the reason why I haven't been super satisfied with some of my large format work is because I've been forced to work with this 210 Sinar, and it's a bit longer than a normal lens, so I feel like it's forced me to just kind of stay squeezed into this one type of composition or photo, and it's a bit too straightforward for me. So I'm looking forward to that, but without any further ado, I'm going to get right into what I learned. So obviously the first thing you have to do when you're diagnosing your, or when you're fixing your light leak is to diagnose it. You got to figure out what's the shape of my light leak, where might it be casted from, is it a hard light leak, is it a soft kind of a fog like I had. So my images from Death Valley in 2018 and 2019 in the winter were completely ruined by this light leak that I'm going to tell you about. So what it looked like was this fog that would come from the bottom left part of my image, and that would basically tell me that it's coming from the top right part of my camera, because an image on the large format camera is upside down and backwards. So this ruined all my photos on the trip, almost all of them. Kind of hurt the shadow quality in one of them, but you know, that photo wasn't really one of the photos I was proud about. So I'm going to show you a few of these photos before I go on to my next step in the light leak. So this first one is in the dunes, and this one, just because of the fact that a dune is like a straight pattern of sand, if you get a light leak, very hard to correct, and it just kind of ruins your image. So this photo got messed up, and that's disappointing because I did good on the focus, and it was going to be one of my, one of the photos I liked more from the trip, and it totally got messed up. So the second image I did, and I did do more on this trip, but I'm not going to show you those. To be truthful, don't judge my photography by these photos. My heart was not in this. This was like a year after I stopped doing large format, and after this trip I wasn't doing large format. I think the Scheimpflug principle just poofed out of my mind during this trip because the focus in some of these photos is absolutely terrible. And so this next one is in Joshua Tree. And this one, you can see the same sort of deal where I'm photographing where the sun is setting, and for some reason when the sun would set more and it was just kind of, this after hours peak type of lighting, it was the worst for some reason, and it would really mess it up. If you've got an area of the image that is super dark and you got this big light leak, well, have fun trying to get the detail out of the shadows. So that ruined that one. And the next one is from Tucson, Arizona in Saguaro National Park. This was kind of on the way back. And this one, if you look, you can see there's definitely a red haze over the parts of the image, and definitely ruins the shadow detail a bit. Now this is an image that you can definitely work with and fix, but I just don't think that the composition is very focused, and it's very chaotic, and I really don't think it works out super well. So let me go into tip number 2, or the second thing I learned. So one thing you want to do after you figured out what type of light leak it is you want to kind of do a vague search on the forums for large format photography and find out where could this be coming from. Is it from the bellows? Is it from the back of the camera itself? Is it close to the film plane? Is it far away? Something that you really want to do, and you can really do that by comparing your photo to posts on the forums and other photos that people have uploaded. So I concluded that it's foggy and it's coming from kind of the corner of the image. I'm having a feeling that it's in the back of the camera. So the next thing I did is I searched the simple areas of the camera. This is something that you really want to do. Hold on, let me check the time here. We're good. Perils of filming with the Nikon D810. You can only film 10 minutes of video and then it cuts off suddenly. So I was at searching the simple areas of the camera. So this is probably the biggest thing. Just search the camera. There might be something really stupid that you messed up on that you're missing just because you didn't properly search the camera. Now part of this is a step that's mandatory, and this is the darkroom step. You want to take this into not a completely pitch black room, but a room that's pretty dark, like a closet or something, and you want to take either the lens or the back of the camera off and shine a flashlight through it. Now a fellow photographer who I actually would talk to throughout this process to get his thoughts and his ideas on the light leak, named Scott Walton, he has a really good video on this on his YouTube channel, and if you think that you have a problem in the bellows, I'd go check out his video because it's pretty good, it's pretty informative. So I'd taken it into the darkroom, and the first time around I just took the lens off, extended the bellows, I put the flashlight through it, and I couldn't find anything. I found like a tiny little glow coming out from a crack in the wood. And that kind of led me to believe that maybe this actual part of the camera where the back connects to the main body of the camera was the issue. Thank God it wasn't, but you can see this crack right here. That would have been really bad. So what I was gonna do was I was gonna bring this out and do test shots with it, and I was gonna tape up this back part of the camera. And it was through talking to Scott Walton and getting his ideas on it that I went back. And this time I took the back off of the camera in the darkroom. And what I found when I put the flashlight back here was that, oh, there's actually a big glow coming from the top right part of the image. Makes sense because my light leaks are coming from the bottom left part of the image. So this is the top right part of the camera, and this is where I'm seeing light. So I say, okay, that makes sense. And I shine the flashlight around to the other parts, no light. So it's like a bingo moment. This is probably where my light leak is. Now I just got to find out why there's light coming through there. And what I found was there's these knobs right here. That's why it's important to know your knobs on your camera, especially if you're a noob. These hold the bellows in place. Now if you unscrew this, your bellows are going to fall forward. And then if you tighten it again, your bellows are going to be permanently dislodged. So all I had to do to fix this was to unscrew this, force that little plate that holds the bellows on it back into the back of the camera, and screw it again. So it was completely my fault, and it was something really stupid that I could have fixed. Also, I think I forgot to tell you tip number 4, which is get a reference. I just talked about how I talked to Scott Walton, and I got his opinion on the matter. Gotta check the time again. Okay, we got time. So, all I had to do was unscrew this, put it back into place, and screw it again and again. So my last tip and the last thing I learned, obviously I'm no expert, so don't take these as like me giving you some in-depth guide. This is just me telling you about my experience. The 5th tip is do some test shoots before you go on a trip. Make sure you're not doing something stupid. I'm sure if you've been going on trips for a while, this isn't something you think about, but if you're a noob, I'm sure you have a lot of anxiety, as I do. And I'm very relieved to know that it actually was completely my fault. There was nothing random or wrong with the camera that caused my light leak. It was completely my doing. So that was a big relief. So if you're a noob, do some test shots. Do plenty of test shots. And I think that's probably the best thing you can do to prevent going on a trip and coming back with 0 good photos. So obviously I'm no expert on this. Don't take this like I'm trying to tell you everything about light leaks. But if you do have some expertise, please leave it in the comments. If you have thoughts, leave it. I know there's probably a lot of people who watch this that know so much more than me because I've only been doing this for 3 or 4 trips because I stopped doing photography for 2 years and now I'm coming back to it. Well, would you look at that? My video ran out of time. As I was gonna say, I'm going to Zion this year and there's gonna be plenty of in the field videos to come. I'm gonna be taking this to a waterfall location in Texas, and fall is coming, winter is coming. It's gonna be good for photography. So if you're a new viewer, subscribe. If you love large format, subscribe. I'm going to be really exploring the world of film. I'm a newbie to film, and I hope you guys enjoy seeing my progress on that. So I'll see you guys next week.